All right, live tonight on the WFO Racing Network. It is the K&N Pro Series. We're live at Kansas Motor Speedway. I'm Matt Egan, ready to rock this town. Ready to rock Kansas. It's going to be a great night of racing here. Thank you all for joining us. Hoping everyone's ready to see some good action, good old-fashioned racing. Big field, big group of drivers. And it should be some great racing here. So, it'll be about 18 minutes of qualifying as per the usual. And, of course, the first 5 minutes, drivers have the ability to make laps. The rest of that time is the time that they will be required to have their drivers meeting. So, right now, looking at the 10 machine, rather, not Johnny Benson, it is Rick Fagone in the 10 machine, looking for a good run here on track, of course. And his car looking pretty good, I must say. So right now, as he goes down into turns 1 and 2, he is on his second lap. And currently second on the speed charts. Vern Bradley's 30 machine is third. So you want to talk about a good run. Look for Vern Bradley to potentially have a great run here tonight. And Vern Bradley there into 1 and 2 there. And that'll finish his run. Andrew Wagner having a good run down the backstretch. Currently 4th on the speed charts. Not too high up, not too far down. Kind of right in the middle of your top runners, which is, to an extent, kind of right where you want to be, I'd say. As Wagner looking pretty good. 5th on the speed charts. Not going to advance, unfortunately. Stephen Blankenship, 19th. Burt Wilson looks like competing for the slowest spot, unless he's just stalled out, potentially. Driver's going rather slow. Michael Skinner coming on track to start his hot lap. And that should be interesting to see now. So with Michael Skinner trying to run his fast lap of the race at the moment, should be pretty interesting to watch. He goes down into 1 and 2 now. Or 3 and 4, I should say, actually. Coming off of 3 and 4. This is his first lap. And no, I'm sorry, that was, in fact, turns 1 and turn 2. I'm terribly sorry about that there, folks. So down through the corners, looking for a good run at the moment. I tell you, I think he's going to have one here. Cross the line. What's he going to put up? And we'll see him go to 15th. Not the best, but again, not the worst. Still has one more lap to make something happen, and we'll stick with him. Kind of see how that one more lap plays out for him. And it should be pretty good here, going through the corner now. And off of the turn, hard into the wall, unfortunately. So that will inhibit that lap, which is going to be the unfortunate situation for him. Ryan W. Daniels not yet set his lap down. Ricky there still looking to have himself a good run. And that's going to be the key there, as he was just getting some extra practice laps in. Wagner still on track, though he is stopped, as has everyone else. Looks like everyone's kind of completed their qualifying run. Brian Jones looking for a good run in qualifying right now. That'll be key here tonight, is getting a good qualifying order on this track, I think. So I think qualifying really does matter a little bit more than some drivers might think, especially at this track where some drivers have been saying it is hard to pass. And we'll see the extent to which how hard it is to pass in just a few moments. Coming across the stripe, Brian Jones, what's he going to throw down? We'll see. Unfortunately, no officially timed lap. Well, there you go, 20th place. Mason Weitzel looking for a good run. But Larry Anderson, your current pole sitter. And that should be pretty interesting to see with Anderson having the pole on this initial race start. The question is, does Anderson maintain that pole position? That'll be a key factor in this race, I believe, as the cars get ready to go racing. Richard Holland, Mason Weitzel, Curtis Stickle looking for a good run here. So right now, not a lot of time left. I think all the drivers they've had the time to make their runs, as I think they were only granted about the first 10 or so minutes in qualifying, and that is about the first 10 or so minutes gone there, unfortunately. So right there now, getting ready to go green in just a few moments. Raymond Root looking pretty good as well. Well, folks, I hope everyone's having a good night here, and thank you everyone for joining us. How's everyone out there doing? Let's get some comments out there. Let's see how everyone's doing at the moment, as we just get ready to go racing in just a little while. So, not long till we go racing. That's the key thing at the moment. Not long till we go green at all. And Ricky on track again. It looks like he's, again, just getting some extra practice laps, which I think that's going to help him in the long run, because, you know, always good to have more track experience. More track experience never hurt anyone in these races. I mean, you never heard anyone say, hey, I have too much practice. If anything, you have a lack of practice, and the ability to just get more and get more experience with these cars, with this track, is, well, the exact situation you'd want out of these races here tonight. And right now, as we just get ready to go racing, I want to know what everyone's pick to win it would be. That's my next question. Who have you guys got pegged going to victory lane? That's going to be a good question to be asking. $10 out of 150 laps in. Or 10 minutes, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say 10 out of 150 laps in. 10 minutes left to go in the qualifying session. But who's everyone's got pegged going to victory lane? I think that's kind of a good question to be asking here tonight. Ricky Fagone looking good still. Larry Anderson still looking pretty fast. Naturally, of course, since he is on pole, he is looking fast. No one has been contending with him because, again, like I said, I think everyone's kind of had their qualifying run. I don't think we're going to see anyone come out on track and contest that, unfortunately. Well, I'd say unfortunately for them. I don't know how unfortunate for the drivers. They're probably, or for Anderson, I'd say Anderson's probably quite happy that no one's contesting his pole position. I know if I was Anderson, I'd be pretty happy that I have the pole and not having to fight for it. Well, not having to fight for it with 9 minutes left, I should say. He had to fight for it in the initial. I mean, look at how close these guys are. That's the other key thing. They are close to the tune of 0.3776, 09, 092, 0.158, 0.202. I mean, it is a close battle between those guys, and I think that's a key thing right there. That's going to be a key thing to see here tonight, is that these drivers are going to be very closely matched in speed, and thus it's going to make for some excellent racing product once we go green, as we continue to watch Ricky go around out on track. Let's hear some voices out in the chat. How's everyone doing tonight? Hope everyone's doing well. And unfortunately, no one else qualifying. Well, unfortunate for them that they haven't had a chance to qualify. So right now, only the top 22 drivers setting down a time. So that's going to be the key right there. Right now, 7 minutes remaining. And you watch Ricky here. He's got a great line going, I must say. Running that high line. That's an interesting thing here at Kansas. You have drivers, due to the progressive banking, they really favor that outside line, and I really think we're going to see that here tonight. I think that's going to be a really big factor here, and a really big thing that we do see take place. Right now, 5 minutes left in the session. 6 minutes, 44 seconds. Be about 5 minutes left in the session. In about another minute. Drivers still in their driver meeting. Right after the driver meeting, we will talk to some of these guys. We will talk to some of these drivers here. Get their thoughts and opinions on what's going to transpire here tonight. And there will also be a tribute to Ryan Newman on around lap number 6. We will have a silent lap number 6 on the broadcast in honor of Ryan Newman, and our thoughts obviously with Ryan Newman and his family here tonight as he is still recovering, and we hope for a speedy recovery, of course. Right now, Larry Anderson still top of the speed charts. 5 minutes, 48 seconds to go. And it should be pretty good to go at the moment for this starting lineup. I don't think we're going to see too much change, to be honest with you. And right now, you can see your top 20, and that's about all the qualifiers. The two drivers that aren't listed there that did qualify, of course, Stephen Blankenship and Burt Wilson, the other two drivers that round out your top 22 drivers that did make a qualifying attempt. So right now, 4 minutes 55 to go. And what do you guys think for this racing here tonight? Who do you think's gonna be the key player? A lot of people in chat already saying Hal Amy. Very popular driver Hal Amy is. And it'll be interesting to see how that goes with Hal. Hal currently on the speed charts. Looking on those speed charts, I don't think he posted a time, but no, he definitely did. And he posted 7th. So Hal Amy definitely good on speed. So that's the big thing there, is Hal Amy good on speed. Looking for a good run here tonight. He had a good run going at Daytona. Unfortunately, got caught up in a few wrecks that didn't go his way. And 3 minutes, 57 seconds left to go. Still drivers in their driver meeting. And we will be talking to them momentarily. Probably on the grid would be my imagination. Mason Weitzel on track. He's going to get his qualifying run in. Bob Ross. Paint scheme. Beautiful Bob Ross scheme there. Down into turns 1 and 2 now for Mason. No, I'm sorry. That's Raymond Root. Oh, no, that is Mason Weitzel. Man, I'm getting all sort of out of shape here tonight. But, yeah, that is Mason Weitzel in that Bob Ross car, looking for a good run. Expect to see him somewhere towards the front of the field, as that driver is always a fast guy. And let's see what happens here. That was lap 1 for Mason. Or that was the start of lap 1, I should say. So as he is underway in lap number 1, what's going to happen? What kind of lap he going to put down? Looks like a little wiggle out of that car. It was a little bit more than a little wiggle. He's going to have an interesting situation. He's going to say, no, I'm going to pull it down pit lane. Perhaps not being allowed to complete that lap. I'm not entirely sure. But we got drivers we can talk to. And we will. So let's do it. Let's talk to Stephen Blankenship. There's a name we all know and remember. It is Stephen Blankenship. Steve, have you got a copy on me?
Yeah.
How you doing tonight, my man?
Doing good, buddy. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. You're qualified a little bit towards the back of the field right now in 21st position. Do you expect to move up from there during the race?
I'm going to try to. I don't know. I didn't get a whole lot of practice. I'm just going to try to survive.
Now, how's that car been handling for you here tonight?
It's a little bit loose, but after a few laps there, it comes in pretty good.
All right, well, what's your expectations on cautions there? You think we're going to see a lot, a few? Where do you think that's going to stand?
I think we'll have a few. I don't think we'll have a lot tonight.
All right, well, thank you for talking to us, my man.
Thank you, buddy.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was Stephen Blankenship there. I believe you go back to Black Sheep Racing, yes? Is that channel I got to drag you to? Gonna hope it is. So that was Stephen Blankenship, just getting word in with him as we get ready to go racing here tonight. Should be a great night of racing. Drivers are anticipating a great night of racing, of course. And the track has been loose. The track has been tight for some drivers, but for the most part, it has been a loose racetrack. And that's going to be the big thing there. That's going to be the big thing with this track being loose and seeing potential crashes, especially as the sun sets here. The track's going to still be slick. It's going to be a very slick racetrack, very interesting racetrack to race. So right now, qualifying is over. And you know what that means, folks. Grinning up. Getting ready to go green in the big race now. We'll get you with your starting lineup here. Here we go from Kansas. Your starting lineup will consist of Larry Anderson, Ricky Fagone, and Vern Bradley, Troy Cook, Andrew Wagner, Nick Gardner, Hal Amy, Raymond Root, David White, Adam McKinney, Kyle Murphy, Donald Shockley, Joseph Andujar, Tyler Lambert, Michael Skinner, Adam Tips, Wesley Whitfield, Ryan W. Daniels, Cody Martin, Brian Jones, Stephen Blankenship, Burt Wilson, Mason Weitzel, Richard Holland, Aiden Young, Dylan Altum, Corey Cook, Jeff T. Martin, Garrett Hemlinger, Artie Peterson Jr., Tim Hamlet, Sean Dorr, Curtis Stickle, and Thomas Cristiano, Glenn James, John Senu, Leo Lortz, Jared Cox, and Trent Ripley rounding out the field. How about that? John Senu back on track. Great to see that name around, as he is a great driver, great talent to see racing once again here in the WFO Racing League. But that Johnny Benson car is sitting on, well, outside pole position, I should say. And that should be good to see. Larry Anderson waiting for him to grid. And so just waiting for Larry Anderson. There he is. So now Anderson taking the grid. So this race getting ready to go underway. Only 124 laps, so it should be a pretty good race. And it should be a pretty quick race as well. And here we go. Cars going on track. And you can see drivers just getting ready to go racing. So with Larry Anderson starting on pole, I don't think he's got the advantage, to be honest. I'm going to say the number 10, Ricky Yee, has got the advantage there because of the fact that he has the outside line. And we have seen that where the drivers with that outside lane tend to be the drivers favored on the starting lineup. As that high lane tends to be the quicker way around here at Kansas Motor Speedway. So right now, cars pacing around. Here we go. Green flag number 1 of the evening. We are racing. $124 laps of action coming at you. Anderson down and away with a pretty great start. Behind him, it is Vern Bradley on the inside. And Larry Anderson immediately, I don't know what happened to him, but he stuffed it into the outside wall. That car has got issues. And so has the 10. And Ryan Daniels almost spun out, so there's your top 2. Within the same lap, both drivers putting their race cars hard into the outside wall. I think the 10 got the worst of it. Daniels down on the apron. Man, oh man, Kansas Motor Speedway, I tell you what. It's starting out with something crazy. I don't know if anyone would have expected that. So I think that puts what, Vern Bradley in the lead as the caution flag flies. And we got cars in the grass. 35's gone around. I think that was Sean Dorr. I don't know who the motor's explosion was. Was that Kyle Murphy? It was 62, Kyle Murphy. Contact from the Hooters machine. Murphy goes around, gets flipped into the air. What a start. And you see Sean Dorr escaping damage. Barely. escaping damage, I might add. So let's dial up Vern Bradley. Actually, let's dial up Larry Anderson, our pole sitter. Because Anderson went from sitting pole to sitting not near the pole anymore. We'll find him. We'll get him up here. But yeah, he's 5th now. So from pole to 5th place, we'll talk to Larry Anderson if we can. And unfortunately, I don't think we'll be able to. I don't see him. But we'll talk to our outside pole sitter, that being the 10 Johnny Benson throwback, Ricky Fragone. As I think he's in TeamSpeak, and I'm sure he has probably got some interesting things to say about that initial start. And yes, he is in TeamSpeak, so get him up here in the broadcast booth. Ricky, have you got a copy on us?
Yeah, I think so.
Well, we saw Larry Anderson tag. Well, we saw you tag the wall. Then we saw we saw Anderson tag the wall. Then we saw you tag the wall a little bit harder. What happened?
Well, I heard Vern a lot, and just like I'm hearing you a lot right now. Trying to get shit straightened around here. It's too loud.
Did you lose? Did the car get loose? Did the car step out on you?
I couldn't hear what corner I was in, so I drove it straight in the wall and tried to keep it there. I ended up bouncing off. I think I got Troy Cook in the middle of it. Almost wrecked the field, so it was pretty stupid on my part, but I can't hear shit.
10-4, thank you for talking to us.
Thank you.
And ladies and gentlemen, as we are now on lap number 6, we will go silent as they go 3 wide. Car's now on 1 to go. That there was a tribute to Ryan Newman, wishing him a speedy recovery from his big crash at Daytona a few nights ago. Or last night, I should say. Drivers electing to do a 3-wide salute, and of course us going silent for the majority of that lap. And the 10 car there, understandably annoyed at the situation of his crash into the outside wall as he tries to get things squared away. Green flag getting ready to come out. So here we go. And there it is. Great restart there for the field, as it'll be Raymond Root now with that good start. And you see Raymond Root got away pretty nicely there on the initial start. Adam Tips looking behind for another good run. Down on the bottom, looks like, who is that on the bottom there? I think the 13 car, Adam McKinney, the Subaru. And McKinney looking pretty good. And we got one stuffed it in the wall. That's Tyler Lambert. And Ryan Daniels on the apron. We got one around. That's Dylan Altum. No, it wasn't. I'm sorry. I'm not sure who that was. I think that was the 51. Troy Cook. So Kansas not playing nice with our drivers right now. Raymond Root, your current race leader. In a wild situation, though, where these guys have been kind of relegated to being all over the place for the most part. Jeff T. Martin, very good driver here at Kansas Motor Speedway, self-proclaimed, and he's living up to it right now. He's climbed to 5th place, looking to go further, and one of the few drivers here tonight that is yet to have an issue. So I definitely think Jeff Martin, a driver to keep an eye out on. And side by side for position, Adam McKinney ahead of or behind them, with Vern Bradley behind, but Martin losing the spot to the 61 of Corey Cook, and Corey in the Ryan Newman tribute car. And it looks like another yellow flag has flown. This time, I believe Trent Ripley may have been involved. And yes, he was. So here's racing next to Sean Dorr, but I think the wreck started ahead of him. Donald Shockley spun out hard into the wall. Sean Dorr got a piece of it. Ripley was involved. And Sean Dorr's car, unfortunately, absolutely destroyed. That might be his night over. He elects to continue. Ripley's definitely done for the day. He's, unless he has a fast fix, but he is definitely, crab walking it, as one says, as he goes through 3 and 4. Dylan Altum right there, trying to make things happen as he tries to go through the field. Caution flag is, of course, out for that instant. Michael Skinner, Raymond Root, Adam Tips, David White, and Mason Weitzel all in your top 5, and we'll see who elects to pit. We'll bring the IJR, or Iceman Motorsports driver, the one and only Iceman, Ryan W. Daniels. Now, we've talked a lot, Ryan. How's your perspective on this car here tonight?
I mean, so far, guys, it's been really loose, to be honest. I'm hoping to get to make some adjustments on the 00 Napa machine and see if we can tighten it up a little bit.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of drivers succumb to spinning out, smacking the wall. We saw you on the initial start. Almost thought you would lose control of that car. Good saving it, by the way. But what happens? Does it lighten up in the back, or is it loose through the entire corner? What's the perspective? Also, nice pit entry.
Yeah. It gets a little bit difficult every now and again. I just happened to mess up on the start, and when I got loose on the bottom, I didn't want to mess anybody else up, so I just let it go and figured we were going to have that initial caution on lap 6 for Ryan Newman there, thinking about him and his family after the accident last night, and yeah, for sure. But the 00 is going to try to do our best here. We're just looking for a good run tonight.
All right. Well, I was going to say, what are your expectations for tonight? But I think you summed that one up for me. Best of luck to you. And one last question. Do you think as the track turns more to nighttime, less of this evening state, do you think that's going to help or worsen the situation?
I honestly think it's going to help. My car is set up more toward for when it gets later in the evening. I do believe that's when, for example, my car and a few others in the field are going to. There's going to be a lot of comers and goers, I think. So look for one of us to be the comers, and some of these guys up front here who can handle the car when it's really loose to be some of the goers, I think, as the race progresses.
10-4 on that. Good luck to you. Loving the paint scheme, by the way. Love the Toyota Camry. You might want to swap out the taillights, though. You still have the Impala taillights.
It's close enough.
The front end looks good, but good luck to you, man.
Thank you, brother.
And that was Ryan W. Daniels there. Me and him go way back. I've broadcasted races he's been in since, well, about 2016. So, or 2017, I ought to say. My bad. But right now, Michael Skinner, your race leader. Should be a pretty good race here tonight. And right here, they'll probably double them up. I guarantee they'll probably double up right now. And yep, there you go, 2 by 2. So McKinney starting a little bit ways back of the front. As you see, Jacob Dove, how you doing tonight in the chat? Rooting for Adam McKinney. Again, like I said, Hal Amy, a real popular pick here tonight. Definitely most popular driver at the moment. And Hal is unfortunately a little bit ways back in 29th as he's got some right front damage. Nothing too severe that Mike's Hard Lemonade Impala can't recover from. But definitely a little bit of damage on that machine. As they go down the backstretch now, getting ready to go green. Going into 3 and 4 now. Pace car getting ready to go in. Michael Skinner leading us to the green. And that'll be the big thing right now, watching what Skinner does. Pace car down. He elected to have the high line. I think that's a smart choice, provided he doesn't spin his tires. There's the green flag, out and away. Great start there by Mike Skinner. So with Mike Skinner getting the good start, he'll actually pull away to the tune of about half a second already over Mason Weitzel, who now runs side by side with Raymond Root there for second place. They are side by side at the line, and I think Weitzel had him for the moment. And Mason Weitzel looking pretty good as they go in to 3 and 4 now. Weitzel ahead of Tips, ahead of David White. White and Tips are side by side for position. And here you go. They are still side by side. Looks like David White falling back hard into the outside wall. Mason Weitzel goes. They are crashing. It is the 59. David White hard into the inside barrier. Man, oh man, is this track being something else. You can see the 61. Corey Cook was involved. That all-tell machine. David White got the worst of it, though. And that was after, of course, Mason Weitzel got tight, got into the outside wall. And we've seen that that has been what is claiming these drivers here tonight. Big crash. We'll get a word in with the 99 of Mason as he tries to figure out his situation. Not too heavily damaged, but still not an ideal situation for him to be in. Mason Whitesville, you got a copy on us, my man?
I got you loud and clear, Matt. Good time, Egan.
All right. Well, good time. What now? You're throwing me for a loop there. But anyway, how's that car been running for you? Saw you get in the wall there. What happened? She just get loose on you? Get tight?
So you might have missed it the lap before, but the 29 and I got together down the front stretch, and we bent the suspension pretty good. I sailed her in the corner, and she went to the right.
So car didn't turn the way you thought it would.
Nah, she tore up. We're gonna go in here and get some hood beaten down and get some new tires and go send it back.
Now, up until that point, of course, how was the car handling for you? How would you say?
Oh, it was on rails. We went from like 29th to 2nd there within those 2 runs. So, we'll get back up there. We'll put on a good show for you guys on the broadcast.
All right. Well, anyone you want to mention? Sponsors, that kind of thing?
I got to thank High Performance Motorsports and Bob Ross on the paint scheme tonight. Got throwing a good old shade at Bob Ross, man. Painter, painting little happy trees.
All right. Well, 10-4. Good luck to you, man.
Thanks.
All right, and we're going to take a quick caution cam here. Mike Skinner, your race leader. All right, well, getting ready to go back to green flag racing now. Hal Amy still proving to be incredibly popular. And right now, green flag getting ready to fly. Pace car getting ready to go down. There he goes, and here we go. Green flag in the air. And we are racing Great restart there for these guys. So now with that restart, it is Mike Skinner getting away. Adam Tips will try and claim second over Wagner. And that's going to be the hard thing for him to do right there, I tell you. As you can see, Adam Tips there running third. Wagner was able to secure second. Aiden Young, I think that's the highest running IJR, or not IJR, I'm sorry, Iceman car we've seen tonight is Aiden Young. He's gotten to the front of the field in that 69 machine. 18, Nick Gardner, a little beat up Toyota Camry, but I tell you what, it's still chugging along nicely. It's a good thing about Toyotas, you can run them forever, and Nick Gardner definitely doing that. He's got beat up front end, still holds on to fourth place pretty well. Young dives it in, not able to make the pass. Larry Anderson trying to run it back to the front of the field. We got one hard into the wall. I think that's Mike Skinner. Yes, it is. Mike Skinner no longer the leader. Tyler Lambert goes by. Sean Doerr, Hal Amy, everyone. Everyone says, I'll see you later. So Mike Skinner going back in the field, and we got another caution. Just under 100 laps to go. Artie Peterson is involved. And it looks like out of turn number 3, he got into the Johnny Benson machine. Richard F there. Jeff Martin might have gotten, no, Jeff Martin got through that, but Ricky there got a piece of it. I'm sorry that I'm saying Richard. I don't know why. I'm all out of sorts tonight. But Ricky Fagone got a piece of that one. Aiden Young, though, working his way to the front of the field. Andrew Wagner inherits the race lead. This will be good for Andrew at the moment. And that's good for Andrew Wagner to get that race lead. Well, let's get an interview with the most popular driver at the moment. That, of course, is Hal Amy. He's up to 15th. And we'll move him up here. And we'll get a word in with the one and only Hal, if you got a copy on us.
I gotcha.
I tell you what, man, you have got some dedicated fans out there. You are, at the moment, I believe, the most popular driver on track. How's that car running for you?
It's running good. We're just coming over a pit violation. I had to go to the end of the line.
All right, now how's it been running all night with all the incidents that have been going on around you?
It's been a little touchy, just trying to stay out of them.
Now, has that car been getting loose on you the way everyone else's has?
I haven't noticed it getting loose yet.
Now, have you hit the wall yet tonight? I don't think you have, but...
No, I haven't had anything yet.
All right, 10-4. Well, where do you expect to finish here?
I'm hoping we're going to be towards the front.
All right, well, thank you for talking to us, man, and good luck to you.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was Hal Amy, driver of that number 3 machine. And now, up to 8th, Andrew Wagner, your race leader still. We'll go to a quick caution cam. We'll be right back. All right, through turns 3 and 4 now as they get ready to go racing. It'll be Andrew Wagner trying to get that good restart. Here we go. Green flag back in the air. Good restart there for Andrew right there. I mean, I tell you what, that was a great start. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Big one. Sean Doerr's in it. Vern Bradley's in it. Ricky F's in it. Looks like Root's in it. Mason Weitzel. Artie Peterson might have caught a piece. And the 18, Nick Gardner. So here's your replay. What happened? Looks like the 51 got into McKinney. Raymond Root. And the 45, I think Brown is involved. And 45 definitely involved. Looks like John Senu got through it. That 86 Citgo car. And you see Senu gets through that amazingly. Like Jeff T. Martin gets through it. As I mentioned, Sean Doerr got a good piece of that. But we'll find the 45 there. That is Jones, Brian Jones. And you watch Brian Jones here going into the corner, trying to avoid it. Down on the apron. Gets caught in by Gardner and Root. Altum gets through it, but with minimal damage, and Jones just gets sideswiped. I think Thomas Cristiano got through it, though, pretty well. 34 out of 124 laps in, and there's your caution. We'll be right back. Austin Wagner, your race leader. All right, well, getting ready to go back to green flag racing. We'll do it single file from here on out, is what it appears. That looks like the official call. And I can't say I disagree with that, because the way these restarts have gone, they've been a little bit sketchy 2x2 with the drivers getting loose, so maybe single file be a little bit better. Green flag back in the air. Here we go right about now. There it is. I was a little bit eager jumping that gun, but good restart there. So great start there by Adam Wagner. And he's slow on the bottom. I wonder what happened. We're going to get an instant replay look at that. Or Andrew Wagner. Man, I'm doing horrible now. I don't know what's going on. Adam Tips out in front. Richard Holland runs second. Holland looking good in second place. Holland now trying to run behind Tips with Corey Cook. Dylan Altum. Look at Hal Amy. How about that? Hal Amy in fifth. Hal's going to look to that inside. It's not going to happen. Not for Hal. Not yet. Altum still holds him out. Altum's hard into the wall. Hard into the wall for Dylan Altum there. Not a good incident right there. He's going to have to fall back. That's going to give everyone bunched up. That's Michael Skinner, Thomas Cristiano, and then the 70, of course, of Burt Wilson. Altum's into Cristiano. And that's going to do a lot of damage to both of those race cars, particularly Dylan Altum. So not a good situation to be in. We're only 39 laps into this race, mind you. We'll do a quick caution summary for you. Had a total of 5 cautions. 23 laps of this race so far have been under caution. We've had 4 lead changes, though, and that has been due in large part to the fact that these cars have gotten so loose in these races that the leader can't seem to maintain the lead for all that long because he loses control of the race car. And the large number of drivers out of this race, Tyler Lambert, Donald Shockley, Garrett Hemlinger, I think that will test that. And then, of course, the large number of drivers that have damage. That's the other thing. It's not only the large number of drivers out of this race, which is about 4 at the moment. It's the large number of drivers that have gotten a significant portion of damage from this incident. Or these incidents, I should say. As the cars go around the track still, 42 laps in. Burt Wilson up to 5th. Good run for Burt. He's being challenged. Well, he is challenging Austin Wagner. Although Austin, I believe, a lap down now. I'm sorry, Andrew. I keep saying Austin because I see Austin in the chat. I'm thinking it's Austin on track. No, it is Andrew Wagner on track. But yeah, he is a lap down nonetheless. He would be the Lucky Dog beneficiary if we were to get the Lucky Dog incident at this current moment. So right here you can see Andrew trying to stay in contention. He's got a fight with Aiden Young. Luckily, he's ahead of Aiden Young by about half a straightaway, or by about a full corner, and Aiden Young involved with some heavy traffic. He's got Vern Bradley ahead of him. Vern Bradley battling with his teammate, well, battling with Aiden's teammate. That's Ryan Daniels. This is for 7th place right now. Which is pretty interesting to see how this battle gonna play out. And they're side by side. Ryan Daniels. Looks like Ryan Daniels is falling back. We got one in the wall. It's Artie again. hard crash. And that probably is fast repair used. Aiden Young is in it. As is the 51 of Troy Cook. And you see Troy Cook and already made contact. Might be the one got up into him potentially. But whatever your cause, whatever you want to attribute it to, it is not a good situation for any of those drivers. Aiden Young not going to be too pleased, I would imagine, as he was fighting for the lucky dog. But we will talk to Aiden Young nonetheless. We'll get his opinion on that situation and see what he thought. Aiden Young, have you got a copy on us?
Yeah.
Man, I know you were fighting for the lucky dog there, and you were looking good. Your car was starting to look fast. You know, from your perspective, kind of walk us through that.
Just two cars got together, and you know how it is. No.
How's that car been handling for you here tonight, for the most part?
When it was up front, it was freaking awesome. Just now, it's got to work well.
All right. Do you still have a fast repair left? I think that's the big question.
Yeah, I'm gonna get it fixed, but now it's just a lot of catch up, like I had to do at Daytona. But we've came back from that, and we'll do it here tonight.
All right. Well, thank you for talking to us. And any sponsor you want to give a shout out to?
I want to thank Young Gun Creations and all my teammates for racing me.
All right. Well, best of luck to you, man. And that was Aiden Young, driver for Iceman Motorsports. We'll talk to Artie there and get his perspective if he's in TeamSpeak, of course. Which I don't know if he is. And I unfortunately don't see him. So, might not be able to get his perspective on that crash, unfortunately. But a big incident nonetheless for these drivers. As the caution flag is out, Mason Weitzel will inherit the race lead. Make that caution number 6 of the evening. Well, any driver that you'd like to see interviewed, give us the name and we'll get a word in with them at some point here tonight. We will try to get a word in with them at some point here tonight, potentially. But nonetheless, though, crazy situation that I don't think anyone was really expecting to see play out. I don't think anyone could have predicted this many cautions here tonight. 49 laps into the race at the stripe, and we are still a long ways away from finishing it. At the stripe, we'll have 76 laps to go. So, a lot of racing left here tonight. Now, folks out there, did you guys think that we'd potentially have cautions like this coming into this race? To the viewers in the chat, I kind of want to know your opinion. I'm interested to hear what you might think, what your thoughts and opinions on the subject matter are. As we go 1 to go, of course, single file restarts for these drivers. It is the one and only Mason Weitzel bringing us down to the green. Larry Anderson, Jeff Martin, Michael Skinner in your top 4. Richard Holland rounds out the top 5. Now, Richard Holland was racing close to the front of the field earlier, as was Larry Anderson. You'll remember Larry Anderson even, he started on pole, hasn't been back to the front pretty much since his crash early on, and we'll talk to Murphy later on in the race. That's been a suggested interview. It says 5 car, I don't see. Can I get a first name on that? Either way, Mason Weitzel out of turn number 4 now. Here we go. Restart number 6. Green flag. Good restart from these drivers. 50 laps in now. So it'll be 75 laps to go. Larry Anderson trying to get to Mason Weitzel. Anderson didn't get as good of a restart. Really, no one got as good of a restart as Mason did. Everyone got loose, though. Michael Skinner got big loose. Skinner holding on to it, barely holding on to it, I might add. And looks like Anderson's in the wall, and that might be a crash there. Anderson's going to have to hold it up there. I saw Jeff Martin get clipped. The man, the myth, and the legend, the master of Kansas. And that has unfortunately been the first piece of damage he's gotten tonight. Up until this point, he has been clean and green. And no longer, unfortunately, for Jeff T. Martin. As now he will battle Michael Skinner in a battle for position. As Michael Skinner will get the spot. Not for long, though. Jeff Martin looks to the inside. Martin's not going to get it at the line, though. Hal Amy closing in on him. Look at Vern Bradley. Vern Bradley is still a factor in this race. So is Corey Cook. 54 laps in now. At the stripe, of course. And Vern Bradley looking to go through the field. He's got to get past Holland. Sean Dorr has recovered nicely. I'm guessing he uses Fast Fix, as he is now 8th place. And up to 8th now, getting further ahead in the field. That's going to be the big key here. And he gets to 7th, gets by Cook. Glenn Jameson also trying to get by, and yes, he does. And looking to the inside, Curtis Stickle, yes, looking good. So a lot of these drivers now starting to put some moves on. Hal Amy up to 3rd. How about that? Getting by Jeff Martin, Richard Holland. He's got to get by Mike Skinner into Mason Weitzel. He's got to gain about 3 seconds. Not saying it can't be done, of course. That number 3 machine is wicked fast. It looks like he's set up on rails at the moment. Hal Amy pulling away from him. Richard Holland runs 5th. He's got Vern Bradley on his tail. He's going to look to the inside of Jeff Martin, trying to put a little bit of gap on him. And that's going to be the key. And that's going to be the key for Jeff Martin now. And Jeff Martin's got the pass. So Jeff Martin, he's not out of this. You can't rule him out. He's not over till it's over. He's good at Kansas. And no doubt about it, trying to get ahead on Holland. We'll take a look back here at Troy Cook. who is, I believe, unfortunately might be out of the race. No, he is still in it in 28th position, mind you. A lot of damage on that 51 car. Dylan Altum, one of his teammates, doing a little bit better. Dylan Altum, of course, running 23rd. And side by side with Wesley Whitfield. And that will be for 22nd if he clears him. Yes, he does. So a good pass there by Dylan Altum. Wesley Whitfield will lose the spot. He's going to go now work on Thomas Cristiano and then Joseph Andujar. Jared Cox runs 19th. This is where the cars really gaggle up. You see Nick Gardner, Ryan Daniels, Stephen Blankenship, Adam McKinney. Side by side, Brian Jones ahead of it. It is Glenn Jameson and John Senu battling for position. Or I'm sorry, it is Adam McKinney, a position back, battling for position with the 29, and then Senu is side by side, I believe, with a lap down car. That is Kyle Murphy. And you can see side by side for position at the moment. They were, not really for position, but they were side by side. Battle for position. It is Raymond Root down on that inside lane, I tell you. And he'll get the pass on Nick Gardner. Good pass there for Raymond. Adam McKinney trying to gain position on now the 62. Again, he is a lap down, not for position, but he's racing like it's for position, and that's where things will get dicey. Is when you have those lap cars racing it hard. They might force the issue there, almost forcing it 3 wide. That's something you just can't really have right there. I don't think 3 wide is the best thing to be doing at the moment. 62 in now. Michael Skinner is your leader. Mason Weitzel has fallen to second, and Hal Amy holds on to third. Vern Bradley fourth. Richard Holland fifth. They're shuffling for position, and they're shuffling a lot. But those are teammates now running second, third, and fourth. And I imagine they're going to run like teammates. So I don't think that, I mean, they're going to race each other hard, but I don't think they're going to go overkill on it. That being said, I don't think they're going to stand exactly idly by and let the other one pass either. Let the other one run away from them as well. Big thing here is just going to be a matter of who races who and what is going to be fair play in this race for these drivers. So right now, side by side, Hal Amy, Vern Bradley. And it looks like Vern Bradley going to get the spot as Hal Amy concedes the position. And he falls back quite a bit, actually. He'll lose a spot to even Sean Doerr. And he'll go back all the way to 6th position. So with him in 6th, that'll open up for Corey Cook to potentially get a pass for position now. And not too far out the top 5 for Hal, so he can still bounce back without a doubt. Michael Skinner's lead is only about a second over Mason Weitzel, and then only a second and a half over Vern Bradley. And Vern Bradley's hooked up on the high line. Mason's heading to the pits. That's a thing we haven't really considered, green flag pit stops, as we have had a lot of cautions here, but that is going to be a factor, is these drivers pitting under green. I think it's going to be a very important factor to consider. And here you go, into the corner here. Vern Bradley racing second place. is in second place is what I mean. Richard Holland now racing for the spot. Mike Skinner still the race leader. Looks like one of the drivers getting ready to go a lap down. I'm going to go out on a limb and say I think that was that wasn't Kyle. I thought that was the 51, Troy Cook. And yes, it is. So Troy Cook getting ready to get put another lap down. And the caution flag flies. Caution number 7. And that saves Troy Cook. It does not, however, save Jared Cox. And the 73, Kurt Stickle, who were involved in that incident. Jared got into Kurt, trying to avoid the wreck of all things, so that's an unfortunate situation. What happened to Kurt? And it looks like he was racing around McKinney and Senu. Kurt got tight and got into Senu. Senu got into him, then McKinney got into him, and Jared Cox went low to avoid it, and obviously nowhere to go. Be good for the drivers that have to pit. They'll be able to pit under this caution with no problem at the moment. This, of course, being the 7th caution flag of the evening. I expect to see the full field down pit lane, and yeah, there they come. So we'll talk to the 62. That is Kyle Murphy, as he elects to stay out, of course, being a lap down, multiple laps down. He can't pit at the moment. Unfortunately, we actually won't talk to Kyle Murphy because he's in the K&N lobby, and we're unable to move him up from there. So, unfortunately, we won't be talking to Kyle Murphy at the moment, but, yeah, he is 4 laps down, 3 laps down, but he'll be back 4 down after he pits. So far, 35 drivers left in this race, 29 on the lead lap. The 10 car, Ricky Fagone, being the lucky dog, the next caution. Michael Skinner, your race leader. We'll be right back. Getting ready to go back to green flag racing. Michael Skinner with the lead. Vern Bradley second. And Michael Skinner looks like he's going to try at the bottom of the racetrack at the moment, which will be interesting to see. Be very interesting to see here. Michael Skinner trying to start at the bottom of the racetrack. Of course, single file restarts, but leader can still go towards the bottom end, which I'm kind of interested to see what his reasoning for that is. Of course, is the top line still going to be preferred when we go back to green, I would imagine. But nonetheless, green flag in the air. Good restart. It looks like Sean Dorr, though, might have got the wall. Oh, man. Deary me. Caution number 8. It is Sean Dorr, Dylan Altum, Andrew Wagner, and McKinney. So Dorr caught the wall, and it was off to the proverbial races from there. Altum flipping end over end. Looks like Jared Cox got a piece of it. We'll go to caution cam. Mike Skinner, he's still your leader. And back to green flag we go, this time by. And Mike Skinner bringing us to the green. And here we go. Green flag back in the air. Good restart there for these drivers. Mike Skinner got a pretty good jump. Vern Bradley trying to compete. Vern Bradley trying to get to second, and he has had a pretty great run of things at the moment. And he is still closing in, but the caution flag is back out. It appears. Not sure who went wrong this time, but Adam McKinney might have been involved. It appears it happened down the backstretch potentially. Yes, it did. Caution number 9, I think. This time involving David White and Larry Anderson and Adam McKinney. We'll go back to caution cam. Your leader. Don't go anywhere. Mike Skinner. And going through turns 3 and 4 now, that is caution number 9. 37 laps of this race have been under caution so far. Getting ready to go back to green flag racing. Well, there we go. Pace car down. Drivers are probably hoping that we stay green. Green flag in the air. Good start for Mike Skinner. That's exactly what Skinner needed. So Mike Skinner out and away to the tune of quite a bit. Vern Bradley runs second. Third is Richard Holland. Fourth, Corey Cook. Hal Amy fifth. And it is some good racing there with Hal Amy in that 5th position at the moment. A little further back, Thomas Cristiano trying to gain position, though he tagged the wall. Mason Weitzel down, but as they say, not out. He's in 10th spot at this current moment, trying to get to the back end of Joseph Andujar. Andujar finally climbing up through the field. It's taken him a little while, but he's doing it. And that's going to be the key for him right there. And look at Mason Weitzel, dives it in deep, gets the spot, but he's going to run it to the wall. That's going to let Cristiano get by Andujar and might even get by Weitzel there. Not quite, though. So right now, not a lot of racing left, but still a very decent amount for Michael Skinner to potentially lose that lead. They're getting by David White there. He's a lap down. Vern Bradley, your race second place driver. Richard Holland third. Corey Cook there in fourth, trying to gain ground. It is Mike Skinner, though, to lead to the tune of about half a second. Richard Holland be one of my picks to win it potentially. Holland, a very fast driver. You see Nick Gardner trying to get to the back end of Glenn Jamieson. Gardner all over the back end of Jamieson there as they go into 3 and 4. Now, mind you, lap traffic to the bottom at the moment. That's going to make it hard for Mason Weitzel, who might have to split the difference 3 wide, depending on how things play out into this corner. He's going to think better of it. Now, imagine the drivers being told by the admins to probably take a breather here, knowing they don't want to have a 10th caution. Corey Cook falling back significantly. And mind you, Corey Cook back to 11th. We have seen drivers make these rise and falls all night, so I don't think that's a surprising thing, because I think he's got a chance to climb out of that. Mike Skinner, your race leader still. Vern Bradley still second. Weitzel still fifth. Andujar battling it out with the lap down of David White. Now, mind you, David White not for position, so he'll let them both by. Curtis Stickle is for position if he can get by Andujar. Battle for the lead now. Vern Bradley going to try and get to him. They're going to have to get by the 60, though. That 60 car piloted by Leo Lortz. And they'll get by him no problem there. So Vern Bradley now clear shot to make a challenge at this race lead. And that'll be the question. Can Vern Bradley take the lead? This is probably going to be one of the longer green flag runs we've had tonight. Michael Skinner been able to lead nearly uncontested. And that's good for Mike Skinner right now, as they are now 90 laps into this race. But Michael Skinner has had the benefit of many a caution to work for him. He hasn't really had to defend that lead in a long while. This is one of the first times we're seeing him actually have to defend that lead. And this is where things could fall apart for the driver. Vern Bradley into the corner. Bradley going to give him a little bit of a nudge for a moment, but Skinner still holds on to the spot. Down the backstretch, Skinner got a great run. Opens that lead up to about a car length. 2 car lengths now. Into 3 and 4. It is a 2 car length lead. And that's the thing. Vern Bradley closes it back down to not even half a car length. Bradley looks to the inside. Side by side. Bradley not getting the run. It looks like coming out of the corner, it is Skinner getting a good race. Getting a good run out of the corner for this race. And I tell you, that's the thing. That high line is the place to be. That is the thing for these cars. You want to be right on that high lane. And right now, 93 laps into this race, 94 at the line. Vern Bradley still trying to gain. Gap is open to about 3 car lengths. And right here, it is Mike Skinner. I think Mike Skinner's got the advantage. I really think Mike Skinner able to hold his own, which is really impressive to see. Vern Bradley, one of the best drivers in these K&N cars, mind you. And right here in 95 laps in. And you can see coming to lap 96, Mason Weitzel a little bit ways back, trying to get by Brian Jones. Now, Brian Jones has climbed from the back to the front. We saw him earlier in the back. He started 20th, too, so he climbed from midfield to 5th place. And it is pretty exciting to see Mason trying to close in. Of course, Brian Jones himself trying to close in on Hal Amy, so he's in between the two HJRM cars with Hal Amy there and then Mason White, so he's kind of the sandwich, the meat in that teammate sandwich. And that'll be interesting to see. You can see Brian Jones still holding on to the spot. Vern Bradley, meanwhile, still trying to get the race lead. Richard Holland becoming a factor now. At least trying to become a factor at the moment. And that's going to be the question here. Can he become a factor? "99 laps in, closing in on just 24 to go." And you know, some of these drivers, probably the ones a bit towards the back of the field, that are multiple laps down. Kyle Murphy, Adam McKinney, probably, and you know, you take guys like Raymond Root as well, probably relieved to see only about 24 laps to go. This race has been going on for quite a bit here. Unfortunately, due to these yellows, well, it's been, you know, unfortunate that we've had these yellows. It has been good racing, though. When we have been green, I tell you what, it has been some great racing. As you can see. And right now, Michael Skinner is still leading. 24 laps to go. Can Vern Bradley put himself in contention? I tell you, I don't know if he can, and I don't know if we're going to have green flag pit stops. That's going to be another good question here. That's going to be another very, very good question to ask. As right now, 101 laps into this race, Vern Bradley actually looks like he might be fading if that's an attempt to save fuel, potentially. Mason Weitzel down pit lane. He'll be the first one to pit. Call it a short pit, potentially, as will Burt Wilson. So Wilson hits the pits. Michael Skinner still on track. Hal Amy still on track. Troy Cook, Gardner, Martin, Cristiano getting by the number 1, and Corey Cook getting by the 1 as well, as that 1 comes back out on the speedway. Closing in on 20 laps to go. This will be the final pit stop of the race, whether it's done under green or under yellow. And it will be done under yellow. Caution number 10. And it looks like Jeff T. Martin might have been... No, Martin was going to pit there, and he thought better of it. Ryan W. Daniels. I see Larry Anderson slow. I think Anderson might have been a factor. Anderson came into Ryan Daniels. Oh. Anderson turning Daniels around. I don't know if that was on purpose or not. And we'll go in car with Larry Anderson. You can see... Well, I don't know about that one, folks. I think, as they say, the devil's going to be in the details on that. And you got to watch his hand movements. We'll widen our shot out. Keep an eye on what his hands do. I don't know. We'll watch that one more time from the pure cockpit perspective. Now, this is what the driver sees. Right behind Ryan Daniels, what does he do? Oh, I don't know. I don't know about that. I'm not going to say anything, because that could have easily been a pure racing deal, and that could have potentially been some revenge on something. I don't know. I'm going to give Anderson the benefit of the doubt and say that was just two cars meeting in the wrong place at exactly the wrong time. But Ryan Daniels, I imagine, might not give him that same benefit of the doubt. Let's get his opinion on the situation. Ryan Daniels, have you got a copy on us?
I do.
Well, from your perspective, what happened there?
I'm not really sure. We came off the corner, and I don't know if I came down or he came up a little bit, but just touched in the left rear.
Now, it doesn't look like you got too much damage on that car. It looks like it just kind of went around on you. You think you're going to still have a shot at this one?
Yeah, I think we're going to be all right. We're getting the damage fixed now, and we're just going to get back on the track and see what we can get out.
All right, well, good luck to you. Thank you for talking to us.
Thank you.
All right, and that was Ryan W. Daniels, driver of that 00 machine. Mike Skinner, your leader. That is the final pit stop of the night. Not sure if that's the final caution of the night, though. We'll be right back from Kansas Motor Speedway. Well, through 3 and 4 for the final time before we take the green. 17 to go at the stripe. Should be a good restart here. And pace car down. Green flag back in the air. Great start there. And you can see, great start by Mike Skinner. Caution flag out, though. And we'll try and see what happened. Looked like the caution came out fairly early on. Mason Weitzel got through it. The 62, Kyle Murphy didn't. Troy Cook got hooked by the 09 Trent Ripley at the very end, but Nick Gardner, the man involved. What happened to Gardner there? Looks like that Troy Cook came up a little bit and got a whole lot of everyone involved there. Here's your next replay of that. So just big gaggle of cars, and it just all went wrong. Troy Cook got loose, came up, and gotta feel bad for everyone. Larry Anderson a factor in that as well. So once again, we'll be right back. Well, you can count it on 2 hands, and I would guess maybe your friend's hand. But 12 laps to go at the restart of this race. And we have had a total of 11 cautions here tonight. 45 out of 124 laps have been under caution. 8 different lead changes. Green flag in the air. 12 more circuits of the Kansas Motor Speedway. Great restart there by Michael Skinner. Vern Bradley got out and away really nicely as well. And the 31 got loose. Richard Holland, does he spin back onto the racing surface? Does it bring out a caution? Caution number 12. Just a single self-car spin. What happened there for Holland? You'll see. Watch Richard Holland. Down on the apron. Just got loose off the corner. Looks like the back end got free on him. Tried to save it and whips it around. Good job by Ryan Daniels avoiding that incident. But Richard Holland goes around. We'll have under 10 to go when we go back green. We'll be back. Getting ready to go back to green flag racing. 7 laps to go. And the question is, what plays out next? Here we go. Coming to the green flag, back in the air. Good start by Mike Skinner. Vern Bradley got a great run down on the bottom. Now 6 laps to go at the line. And Bradley looking for a good run here. But Brian Jones was catching him, and the caution flag flies again. For caution 13, Corey Cook, Glenn Jameson. John Senu got a piece of it as well, unfortunately. So, again, the only reason we're not interviewing drivers right now, we don't want to break their focus with so few laps to go. But we'll have 5 laps to go right now, under that to go when we go green. We'll be right back. Well, double them up. Let's go 2 more times around. Of course, potential for green-white checkers. And it should be an exciting restart. Should be an exciting restart here as they go through 3 and 4. Vern Bradley's got a potential to win this race. That's for sure. Pace car down. Here we go. Green flag. 2 more times around. Hal Amy running 4th on this restart. He'll fall to 5th, though. Race for position's going to be right around here. If they get back to the white flag, they'll race it out no matter what. That's the thing. They're 4 wide. Oh, they're not getting to the white. Big crash, big caution. And I hate to say it, but I saw that coming about half a mile away when they went 4 wide. Mason Weitzel, Jared Cox became an incident after the fact, but Ryan Daniels, he got through it, but you see, was at the 09 and the 29 Raymond Root and Trent Ripley. Larry Anderson, John Senu. Senu kept his nose out of danger most of the night. Up until that point, of course. They'll get a green-white checker finish in, but we'll be right back for it. And looks like that'll be caution 14 of the evening. We'll be right back. Well, as they say, let's try it again. Once is never enough. We got 2 laps to go at the line. We got quite a few drivers left in the show. We still got 21 on the lead lap. Hey, that's a lot of drivers. A lot of race left. Anyone's game. Green flag. Here we go. Right there. Michael Skinner. There we go. Another great start for Mike. Vern Bradley out and away. He's got to battle Brian Jones, the Jalopnik machine. Skinner's got the high line. Skinner can't mess it up now. Lap and a half to go. Remember, they just got to get to the white flag. And then they race it out no matter what. Bradley closing in. Final lap of the race. Here we go. Jones is around. No caution. Big wreck behind him, no caution. I saw Cristiano go around. I think a good number of drivers are in it. But no yellow. Vern Bradley, Michael Skinner. I tell you what, folks, if you've stuck around, this is shaping up to be one crazy finish. About a car length separating these 2 drivers. Coming down to the wire, we got Ryan Daniels wrecking in the background. Vern Bradley about 2 or 3 car lengths away. Can he win it? Can he close in? It's not going to be enough. No, sir, it won't. Michael Skinner's gonna win it. Vern Bradley gonna be second. Jeff T. Martin third. And Stephen Blankenship, where did he come from, fourth? Hal Amy, Joseph Andujar, Richard Holland, Adam Tips, Burt Wilson, Glenn Jameson, Trent Ripley, Cody Martin, Ryan Daniels, Ricky Fagone, Larry Anderson, Corey Cook, Mason Weitzel, Aiden Young, Thomas Cristiano, Brian Jones, Nick Gardner, Raymond Root, John Senu, Jared Cox, Troy Cook, David White, Wesley Whitfield, Kyle Murphy, Adam McKinney, Artie Peterson, Curtis Stickle, and Andrew Wagner, Dylan Altum, Leo Lortz, Sean Dorr, Tyler Lambert, Donald Shockley, Garrett Hemlinger, and Tim Hamlet rounds out your field. But man, oh man, I tell you what, on the list of drivers I expected to win, within the final 50 laps, I could definitely say Mike Skinner was definitely on the high up on the list. He leads over half the race. Taking a look at our caution information breakdown, though, we had a total of 14 cautions. We had 14 cautions here tonight for a total of 56 laps. 8 different lead changes. Pretty great amount of lead changes, I'd say. But let's talk to the man of the hour. Enough fooling around with the cautions. We'll talk to the one and only Mike Skinner. If we can find the one and only Mike Skinner. I actually don't see Mike Skinner. I know he's in here. Ah, yes, there he is. HBR. I almost glanced over him, but we're not making that mistake. No, we will not forget to talk to the race winner, Mike Skinner, if you got a copy on us.
Oh, yeah, what's up? You got me?
Yeah, I mean, man, you had to wait a while for it, but that win's probably got to feel good.
Yeah, it feels great. You know, we got in practice. We didn't qualify the best. Drove up to the front. Ran out of talent, hit the wall. So first half of the race, we looked like a stock market there on our position graph. But that second half, we figured out how to drive the car and ended up taking her home.
All right. Well, how'd that car handle for you during the race?
And clean air, it was amazing. You know, this was a really loose setup. So when you got in traffic, it seemed to get a little bit looser than that. But you know, as long as I was in clean air, it was pretty good. Just trying to save the tires.
All right, well, thanks for talking to us. Any sponsor you want to thank?
I'd like to thank my teammate. It's not really a sponsor, but Raymond Root, you know, me and him putting the practice in and keeping me company in the race, having fun.
All right, well, thank you for talking to us, man. Great job on the win.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Next up on the interview block, second place finisher. He won last week. He will come up just a few inches short. Actually, we won't be able to talk to him quite yet, but we'll go to third place, and then we'll talk to him. But it was Vern Bradley second. We'll go to Jeff T. Martin in third. After Hib having a great run. Well, Jeff, I tell you, you said you were a master at Kansas Motor Speedway. You proved that tonight, man. You were one of the few drivers that I think wasn't really caught up in any incident for the most part.
No, I did have a lot of bad luck, though, man. I guess there was going into turn 2, I had to go 3 wide. One of the cars, he was coming kind of back at me, and then he moved to the outside real fast. I thought he had a problem, so I went to the middle, made it 3 wide. I got black flagged for it. So I went up to about 8th or 9th, had to go all the way to the back, went back up to about 8th or 9th, had to go all the way to the back again. I finished 3rd. I couldn't ask for a better finish, I guess.
Yeah, that car, I mean, you look like you were on rails for a little bit there coming back through the field. How did it handle for you for the most part here tonight?
It was loose at first because once you get into the turn, and that's where a lot of them cautions happen, people are flat-footing it through there, and if you turn just a little too much, it's going to make you real loose. So I kind of, when I would get in the middle of the turn, I would just barely crack the throttle and then get back into it. I never got loose, so I didn't have a problem there. And then once it got dark, it was sticking pretty good, so it was really fast.
Now, what could you do to combat the looseness of the race car? Because it didn't look like you guys as drivers had a whole lot of options there. It looked like you guys were just at the mercy of the race car.
All you can do is just crack the throttle. I mean, like I said, you got people that are trying to drive flat-footed through the whole turn, and it's not going to work like that. You gotta crack the throttle, or even let off to a certain amount of speed, or you're going to get loose, period. So as long as you let up a little early, rode it in there, kept it a certain speed, and then got back on it about halfway through, generally you were good. I didn't have a problem with that all night, really.
All right, well, thank you for talking to us, man, and any sponsor you want to thank before I let you go?
Yeah, WFO, and y'all stepping over here doing the race for him, and Doug Turner, he paints my car with the Tito's vodka, and Turner Lawn Care, and my other buddies at North Georgia Vapors here in Georgia. They're always right there rooting for me, and couldn't ask for nothing more. And Doug Turner actually was my spotter tonight, too.
All right, well, thank you for talking to us, man. Great job on the finish.
Thank you.
All right, well, it looks like the admins are sorting things out, as it were, after the caution-filled race we've had. A great race, though, at the end. I tell you what, it was an amazing race, amazing finish, but caution-filled. So they're going to have a whole lot of work on their hands here, and it looks like Vern and Hal are currently unable to be available for interviews, and unfortunately, due to time, that's where we're going to call it for us here tonight. Hope everyone enjoyed tonight's broadcast on the American Sim Network. We'll see you next week. Have a great night, everybody.